Hey, what's up, Run Try Bike family? Welcome to another edition of the Fiery Embers. Today with me, I have somebody I actually connected to probably, I think it's been almost half a year since we connected. I can't remember how we connected, but that's typically how it goes with endurance sports in this community. Um, and I just had seen the work that Dawn was doing and knew that I had to interview her and also bring her on the show. And we had a lot of fun in that conversation. And this is also going to be another fun conversation. So, without further ado, I want to introduce Don Beaumont, the proud owner, founder of Queen of Hearts Run and Ride, who is gearing up for a 200-day duathlon across Australia um, for cardiovascular disease in women. Don, welcome
Absolutely.
to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's quite interesting when I'm sitting here in Australia and you're sitting there in the US. Like, how cool is this?
It's funny. I've always had that thought. Like when we've talked to people from the UK, like we've talked to people from like uh, Asia, like all over the world. There was one fireside chat show where uh, Jason was on the East Coast, I was on the California coast, and no, my the other person was on the Pacific coast, and I was in India, and
Oh,
we
that's
somehow
amazing.
made the time zones of that show work. Uh,
Love
it
that.
kind of it kind of reminds me of our first interview. For those of you guys who don't know, I like we talked about in the green room. Don kind of has a mentality of like saying yes to opportunity, which I really love. And I had asked for an interview, having the most a total lack of understanding of time zones in Australia, and, and when you told me it was 5:30, even after we pushed the interview 2 hours back, or 2 hours ahead, I should say. No,
Yeah,
back.
back. Yeah,
That
back.
you could see my concept of time is great. But
Yeah, it's not great.
it's I realized that it was 5:30 in your time, even when we pushed it back, which made a click in my head. You were getting up to do an interview with me at 3:30 in the morning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how much I will absolutely always say yes to any opportunity. But yeah, I was definitely quite happy when it got pushed back a few hours.
Oh man, just hit the snooze on the alarm.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
So before we dive into talking about what Queen of Hearts Run and Ride is, I have my first round of rapid fire questions. These are three
Cool.
questions related to training. They're going to get
Okay.
more and more absurd as we go through the show. These will probably be the most normal questions you'll get this entire show. For those of you guys who don't know, on the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network, if you are looking for a serious show or a show that is about tips and tricks in endurance sports, this is not the one. This is the most unserious show ever. And I think just based on our conversation in the green room and our interactions, Don is perfect for the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't take things overly too seriously because a couple of things I said to my sports dietitian was don't touch my coffee or my wine, so she can program all my food and everything around that.
I love that. Question one. What is your favorite climate to train in?
Oh, heat, 100% heat. I'm a heat training girl here in Australia at the moment. In Adelaide, on the weekend, it was 40 degrees Celsius on Sunday, and I even did my checkup to because I know the team over there in Fahrenheit, which is about 105 degrees Fahrenheit for comparison. I love that heat. So definitely a dry heat, not a humid heat. But no, I'm a heat training. I struggle in the cold, man. Struggle big time.
Oh man, I see. The thing is, I love the cold, but my girlfriend will tell you, like, when we're sitting around and she's trying to hold my hands do not stay warm. They're the area that gets the least circulation. And she is actually impressed by my ability to lose circulation in my hands and how cold. So,
I
I
love
think
that.
I'm more suited for the heat, but I love the cold.
They see it's definitely to each their own, and that's obviously Australia is quite a warm country most of the time anyway. So she's pretty good like that. But yeah, I'm that's the main thing I'm nervous about when I'm getting around our version of an East Coast. It starts to get a bit cold. So yeah, we'll see how we go there. But I'm taking off in summer here in Australia, so definitely a summer person, which is great.
So, question two for you. Since you are doing what is a duathlon of running and biking, I want to ask you, you wake up in the morning, what of the
Mhm.
two workouts that you do, which of the two that you do, which is the one that is most likely to get you out of bed more excited, running or biking?
Geez, talk about putting me in the firing line. I've got two coaches here. I've got a running coach and a cycling coach. And what's even, more challenging in this space is that my cycling coach is my father. So if I say if I say running, he will not be happy. But I'll say naturally, definitely more of a cyclist than a runner. I've been cycling a lot longer. So we're gonna go with cycling, because that definitely does get me out of bed. But with the running side, this is where I'm going to be fence sitting. With the running side, I get to train with Runners One team here in Adelaide, and that always gets you out of bed because you get to go and see all of the awesome peeps that you get to see every week. So I'll fence sit a little bit, but bit of column A, bit of column B. I think it's going to be the safest answer on this one.
That's actually a really good answer considering the your cycling coach is your dad.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm training with him tomorrow. And I just, he's going to have me out on the road for 5 hours. I can see extra hills getting put in now because of this. So just putting it out there.
I don't remember these hills, Dad. Where did these come from?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is what's that whole elevation thing? Yeah, I don't need extra. Thanks for that.
Just a couple hundred extra meters than the last time we did this.
That's right. That's right. Oh no, it's gonna be painful, but that's okay. It is worth it. It is worth it. That's what we tell ourselves.
Yeah, I had a guest come on the show once who said never perfect, always worth it.
Oh,
And
I like that.
I really like that
That's a.
saying.
I'll stay. I'll definitely steal that one.
So it actually brings me to my last question for this first round. Are you an uphill person or a downhill person?
Uphill. Absolutely uphill. I love to climb, which is good. And again, that's now been recorded, isn't it? So that'll get used against me at some stage. I definitely like climbing. I've got, as I like to say, climber's legs. I'm definitely a climber. Being a hiker as well, I've hiked in some incredible places around the world. So I'm definitely an uphill. Again, Dad will attest to this because he's been on all these big hikes with me. I whinge going downhill. It's just except for when you're on a bike, when you're absolutely fanging it down a hill on a bike. That's fun. We like that. But my mother checks my Strava, so even at 40, I'm scared of mum and don't want to be hauled over the coals because I've gone too fast down a hill on a bike.
Yeah, remind me again. You actually did a 8-day trek or something on the Kokoda track, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Kokoda's in Papua New Guinea, and it's quite dear to Australians' hearts because of the war and our soldiers serving over in and on Kokoda. It's brutal. It's eight days of some days are 14, 15 hours of hiking in some pretty rough conditions, but that in itself, I did that, oh, goodness me, just over 10 years now. And yeah, that set up a lot of my life doing Kokoda. They say you do life changing things every now and then. Definitely go and do anything endurance, it'll change your life. And that was my major turning point.
I love that. I think I might have to steal that one about endurance.
Absolutely.
So you've told me this story before, but I want to
Mhm.
present it again to the audience by
As
asking
my
you.
lights, as my lights go out. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Go
all
again.
good, all good. We've seen some amazing things on our podcast shows with like lights and like technical difficulties. Somebody actually sitting by a real fire at the fireside chat.
Love that.
And when you've done 300 plus episodes of these shows, you've seen everything. So
That's good. Well, when they go out every now and then you know that, yeah, we know what's going on. So it's all good.
I thought it was just dramatic effect for me asking the question, what does Queen of Hearts run and ride? Why Queen of
Oh, yeah.
Hearts?
So I completely staged that. Completely staged that.
Totally staged.
Queen of Queen of Hearts run and ride. So I will be doing 20,000 kilometers running and riding over 200 days around the country. And again, I thought I would try and help out a little bit because I know the team over in the US work in miles, but that's 12,427 miles for those playing at home, which is equivalent of running and riding from LA to New York and back twice, and then heading back to New York from LA again. So 2.5 times equivalent is what I'll be doing, all for cardiovascular disease research and heart health prevention. So I'll be doing a run, ride, run every day around Australia. And Australia is not small, as you can see, all for the Heart Foundation and the Royal Flying Doctor of Australia.
And one of the things you mentioned in your interview of why you called it Queen of Hearts is not only because it stands out, but
Yes,
also because you don't want anybody to gamble on their heart health.
absolutely not. So my mum had a heart attack, and that's how this all sort of came about. So my mum had a heart attack, and unfortunately, her lifestyle choices weren't great, including smoking. We're at the theatre over in a city called Perth, so we're over there about to watch a show, and mum wasn't feeling very well, and I got her out into an area because I knew it was a heart attack. So I got her out into an area I could at least manage the situation. With my background, I knew what I was looking for, which was, I guess, a good thing. And a good thing for me because mum is a fabulous cook. So we really do need to keep her around for her culinary skills. She keeps me well fueled. So mum, she ended up having, this was, I think it was two that day, but she'd had a pre-heart attack. So cardiovascular disease is absolutely rife in women in Australia. So it is the biggest killer of women in Australia. And I didn't know that. So my family history is terrible with cardiovascular disease. My mum's father died very young of a major coronary. So I'm thinking, geez, man, like I've got these warning signs. I need to look into this. As soon as I started to dig and realized it's just something that we don't talk about here in Australia much at all. We are probably more now, but it's still the focus isn't on women. It tends to be on men because it's seen as one of those things, a disease for men. I wanted to do something on a really big scale to raise that awareness. And we were trying to throw around names for what are we going to brand this thing? How do we get it out there where it's going to resonate with people? And my husband straight up said, it's like playing a game of poker. He goes, you're gambling. You're gambling with your health, and it's a silent killer. And that's when Queen of Hearts came about. You're playing and you're gambling with your life if you don't take this thing seriously. So the Queen of Hearts was born, and then the run and ride element, and then we put it all together, and that's what it's now become.
It's incredible how all those pieces came together to form that name that is simple on the surface, but has such a deeper meaning, both to your
Yes,
story and to cardiovascular disease in women, leading killer, and just the idea that you are playing a game of poker when you make certain
absolutely.
lifestyle choices. Uh, and
Absolutely.
and it's sometimes big changes require doing things on a big scale. And I think and I firmly believe that's what you're doing with this duathlon.
Yes, well, look, that's absolutely the plan, and we're obviously is trying to get as much traction and education out there and engagement opportunities during those 200 days that we possibly can, and it's purely so that we can spread this message. I've just had the fortunate for me, very fortunate. So I'll be doing. I'm not sure if you guys have Park Run over in
We do.
America
We
as
do.
well. So I've just partnered with Park Run here in Australia, and one of the big things that we are starting to see is defibrillators starting to go okay out of date. So they're a bit old. Defibrillators are just a life-saving tool if you are to have a heart attack. And Parkrun Australia went, look, you're going to be doing 16 park runs, which I am. So during the 200 days, just for extra, I'm doing 16 park runs around Australia to try and get that platform of awareness. So at the same time, we're going to be promoting the defibrillators and using Queen of Hearts Run and Ride to help raise that message and also get updated defibrillators at our park runs around Australia. So Queen of Hearts and what we first sort of started, and I say we because you can imagine the logistics and the support team. You know, I know I'm the face behind it at the moment and in front of the camera, but you know the team that's behind me, in particular my parents and my beautiful husband and dog, are the ones that really, you know, sit there and spitball ideas with me. And you know, I remember my dad very early on saying, just any opportunity you get, don't say no. Have a conversation, see what comes of it. You can always say no down the track, but just go, yeah, let's talk. Because he goes, you just don't know what you're going to be able to get in front of. And, you know, Parkrun coming on board with defibrillators is an absolute win and a game changer.
It's incredible, and I truly, Jason and I would truly agree on saying yes to conversations and saying yes to talking to people because you never know who you're going to meet, what you're going to learn, and the just interactions that you're going to have that can help you grow as an individual and the opportunities you can find to collaborate because we believe in collaboration, not competition, uh, and
Yes.
and so it just I mean, I would have never guessed that. Like, I knew this was going to be a great conversation when we had our first interview.
Mm.
I would have never guessed, like, you never know a person's story until you actually talk to them, and it's one of my favorite things about what we do here, and so I'm glad that that conversation and us knowing each other for 6 months on the socials led to this. So
Yeah.
it's been fun.
I was trying to remember myself how it sort of all came about. I don't know. I think I
No,
might have even sort of had a look at, you know, the crazy things that you were getting up to on socials. So obviously it's come up in my feed, and I think yeah, we just sort of started to follow each other, and I was like, this guy's a bit next level. And then you know, I just and I love that. I love that. That's where social media is so powerful, isn't it? It's just one of those things that, you know, I know it gets a bad rap. I know social media sometimes does just get a bad rap, but like we're literally on the opposite sides of the world right now having a conversation which is going out on the social media platform. That's just bloody awesome.
it is super awesome, and I truly believe that social media has so many positive capabilities, like making these connections that you wouldn't otherwise be able to have, but also being able to bring positive change. What you're doing in Australia that is going to do things on the ground is also going to carry over through media companies like us and other people you interact with and your own social media. So it's truly
Absolutely.
important. Uh,
Very important.
before I ask you to uh, tell people about the dates of when this duathlon starts and any last words about it and how they can help, I have one last round of 5 questions, and
Get ready.
these will be interesting.
I love that.
Uh,
These will be interesting. I like how you preface this stuff. That's interesting. All right. Fire away. Let's do it.
I'll start with the ones that I did my research on. Hopefully, I did my research on this correctly. Uh, if you had to choose between two snacks, Vegemite or Tim Tams?
I love the way that you've gone straight for the. Oh, look, I'm a Vegemite girl through and through. So yes, it's very salty, fantastic when you are doing those endurance training sessions. The old white Vegemite sandwich in the back pocket of your jersey, absolutely game changer. Game changer on hill climbs for sure.
All right. The next one is Chico Roll or Dagwood Dogs. I love. By the way, I
Oh,
love that they call them Dagwood Dogs. They call corn dogs Dagwood Dogs in Australia, or at least
yeah,
I think
that's
so.
good. That's correct. Definitely a Chico roll. Geez, I sound Australian when I say that. Yeah, it's very much a Chico roll. Can't go wrong with a greasy Chico roll from a service station.
Are you a coffee person or a tea person?
Definitely coffee. I do like my tea, but anyone even on social media will know that I do not live without my coffee. Coffee
Are
is
you,
life.
if you had to choose, tall white or long black?
Tall white.
Love that.
Definitely. Definitely
I
tall
was a
white.
long black. I was a long black person, and I've started to shift towards tall white. So,
Yeah, yeah, I like that. Yeah, no, I'm definitely a tall white. Absolutely.
next question. Now we're moving out of the realm of food, and we're going into some interesting and like mythologically and like hypotheticals. But I'll start with a fun one. If you had to
Okay.
choose, obviously besides your dog, because I love dogs, but if you had to bring in a second pet and you had the choice between a dragon and a unicorn, what would you go with?
Oh my goodness. Again, this one's for my mum because she loves unicorns. So she is a mad unicorn lover. Do not ask me why. So, but I think that, yeah, absolutely unicorn. Maybe it's the colors. I don't know. But yes, absolutely unicorn. Don't think Archie, my dog, would like having to have to share our attention. So, but yeah, bring on the unicorn. Might actually help me get around the country.
You could just let Archie know it's a hypothetical.
I'll have this conversation with him later.
uh, if you had to choose between these two as an endurance athlete, an unlimited supply of your favorite snack or never have to sleep again?
Whoa,
And you thought I
jeez.
already threw the hardest question at you.
I'm thinking so. I was more concerned about bloody pineapple on pizza question. That was what I was more concerned about, and the divide that was going to create. By the way, pineapple shouldn't be on pizza.
Oh
Um,
no.
Sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. I'm 100% in the Jason corner on this one.
He's gonna love that at least.
Yeah, I'm sure he will love that. Look, anyone that knows me knows that I'm an 8 hour a night girl, so I would probably definitely go for more the snacks because I actually do like my sleep, and I don't think I would ever survive without sleep ever.
Fair.
Well, here we are. Look, dramatic effect again.
Dramatic effect for sleep as you were getting ready to sleep at 8 in the
That's
morning
it.
in
That's it.
Australia. Uh, last question for you. The song that Dawn sings when she walks into the karaoke room is.
Oh no, this one's going to be totally off the top of my head. And what's really scary is the um if I could walk 100 miles. I don't even
Yeah.
know who sings that. It's just one of those ones that no one actually knows the words to, but everyone gets really excited about.
Oh, the is it the if I could walk 500 miles or 500 more song? Yeah,
Yeah,
my
that's the one. That's the one that's just popped straight into my head. But yeah, absolutely. Look, yeah, good old karaoke, but that's the one that everyone gets super excited about.
that's an interesting one. I ask my girlfriend first off loves that song, so she sings it karaoke's it with her friends constantly. I've heard it many
Love it.
times. I've had somebody tell me that my spirit animal is that song.
Oh,
I'm
that's a
like,
bit scary. Yeah, where's
that would be
now?
very
Where's the unicorn?
that'd be very scary, especially if they want me to do 500 miles. I'm totally underachieving.
Love that. I love that. But yeah, that's the one weird one that pops in my head. But it's definitely one of those ones. So, but here in Australia, if it's all about dancing, it's definitely the nut bush. So yeah, they're the two big ones. I know we were looking at some of the dancers post running, and one of the runners one team said, oh, we should do the nut bush for the guys, and just get that out there. So I think just watch this space over the next few weeks. You'll end up with
Oh my god, I
a
can't
nut
wait!
bush
Please,
by runners one. post
Please
run.
tag us in the dance party. Please.
Absolutely.
We finish,
Absolutely.
we dance. That's how we do it here.
Absolutely.
So before we close this show out, I want to give you the space to let people know how they can help support Queen of Hearts and your duathlon and the causes that you're doing this for, and where they can go to find more information.
Yeah, absolutely. The main place to go is dawnbeaumont.com.au. So that is where all of the information, upcoming events. So if anyone is coming to play in Australia and happens to be around when I take off on the 25th of Feb next year, please you can come and jump in and do a bit of a run and ride with me. So I am running and riding every day. So on average, I'll do a 15K run, then an 80K ride, and a 5 kilometer run every day. So they won't be having any days off, which is interesting. We as I said, we take off very early. I think it's 6:30 a.m. On Tuesday, the 25th of Feb, which will be obviously the 24th in the afternoon for you guys. I really would just love people to follow us on social media. That really helps sort of lift the profile. So please, Queen of Hearts Run and Ride. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm on as many platforms as we can get at the moment. And really, if you're wanting to contribute to the fundraising effort that I'm going for, I am aiming for $2 million Australian. That is what the aim is between the two causes. That's why we're calling it the Epic Duathlon for a dual cause. You're more than welcome to donate. Every dollar that is donated through my website. So there's a donate section. You can click on either cause and you can read about both causes as well and why they complement each other so well. But you can donate there. Every dollar is going straight to the fundraising causes. My husband and I, from an operating cost perspective, are covering the operating costs to get us around the country. So we've bought the bikes and the caravan and the car and all the other bits and pieces in between. So the whole point of this was to raise awareness and much needed funds for research from a Heart Foundation perspective and to keep the Royal Flying Doctor Service in operation here in Australia.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And for everybody who is watching this live show, this will be in our those links will be in our show notes.
Thank
And
you.
when we post about this, I'll point everybody over to the website as well. Don, thank you so much for coming on the Fiery Embers. This is a really fun show, and we can't wait to have you back on, maybe for a fireside chat.
Absolutely, would love to. And as I said, always say yes. So, and even at 3 o'clock in the morning, if you want me, you can have me.
That's going to be a thing even 3 years from now.
I think it will be. I think it will be. So,
Yeah,
I
remember
feel
the
like I need to send you one of those things that has the two time zones so that you can, sort of set the times when you're working out your calendars. I've got a feeling that happens online when you go to book a meeting, but that's okay. That's okay.
always, always. Well, appreciate you, Don, and I hope you have a great rest of your morning.
I will. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day.